Hey everyone, my name is Alexis Marin and I am a registered drama therapist, a life coach, and a speaker. And for those of you who have never heard me speak before, a drama therapist is a type of creative arts therapist. We fall under the creative arts therapy umbrella, and we use basically anything you would see in an acting class. That is fair game for us to access as a technique to help you work through whatever issues you're working through. And as a drama therapist, it is incredibly fitting that today what I wanted to talk to you about is acting. I was listening to a podcast recently, Aubrey Marcus, and he was interviewing Matthew McConaughey. Matthew McConaughey is a classic actor. He's done all different types of parts, but in particular, he was talking about his role of Cooper in the film Interstellar, which is a very moving and substantial piece, and I highly recommend everybody watch Interstellar at some point. And he was talking about a very particular scene where I don't want to give too much away, but he's an astronaut and he's on a planet for a very long period of time. And so when he gets back to his ship, he is downloading videos from his children who over the years have aged. And so he's watching years and years and years of what's been happening in his children's lives. And he had asked the director to do a close-up on him. And what we finally see in the movie is the first and only take that they did for that particular scene. And in that scene, you will experience Cooper, that character, experience love and joy and loss and longing and grief and sadness and excitement. And it is palpable. He has almost 20 different emotions written on his face and his body. And Matthew McConaughey in the interview is talking about how basically anything after that take would have been acting. But that first take, that initial action, that initial reaction that he had to seeing those videos as that character, that wasn't acting, that was being authentic. And so he has a quote from it that says, if you really think about it, everything after take one is acting. And so I want you to think about how does that apply to your life in particular. I think that we are reactive people. That is natural for us. We get some type of stimuli, something comes in, and we have a natural reaction to it. Now, we do not have any control over our initial emotional reaction to something. We don't. We only have control over the behavior that we want to attach to that emotional response subsequently after we have that initial emotional response. So let's say somebody sends you a text message and it makes you angry. Your initial response is, that pisses me off, that makes me angry. That's your initial emotional response. You can't do anything to change that. But what you do next, you have control over. If I were upset with the text message, I could immediately send back the first thing that comes to mind, some angry or mean response, or I could wait a moment and I could craft something in a different way that I want to send to that person. The odds are I'm probably going to go with option 2. I'm probably going to take a minute and craft and coach myself into a different type of response. Now, that's acting, isn't it? Acting is, well, I'm going to go with this thing that I have, my authentic response, but I'm going to craft it and practice it and rehearse it to make sense in this situation. I just found that quote from Matthew McConaughey, and I don't think he was trying to make a quote. It was just such a brilliant statement as an actor that he recognized that if he had to have done that scene again, if he was asked to, say take 2 of your character Cooper seeing your kids over 30 years, it wouldn't have been the same. It wouldn't have been as genuine, as authentic. He would be reaching to get that same thing again. And that was the reason why he asked the director for that close-up at that moment. And that was also the reason why he knew that he wanted to do it in one take. And there must have been something in him that knew that he was prepared to live in that moment. And so what do we do with this information? First of all, I want everybody to know that we are all actors. We are all actors, and we are all on stage all the time. Shakespeare is accurate. And so what do we do with the fact that we're all actors? Well, we need to learn from the fact that we have genuine and real and authentic responses at all times that we are constantly shaping and crafting to make appropriate for other people. And sometimes it is the best thing to do to really pause and step back from our initial reaction and to shape and to craft that response. And sometimes we have to give somebody the really authentic, genuine first reaction. I believe that that is what is called vulnerability. And with vulnerability, we have to pick and choose who can be our audience. Not everybody in our lives should be privy to our vulnerability. Not everybody can hold our vulnerability. So we have to be careful with whom we share that very sensitive and very intimate first reaction to things. I also want you to hold on to the fact that you're an actor as well, to give you some agency to know that you do have control over how you react and respond to different people and situations. We can, as I keep saying, we can craft responses. We can coach ourselves into different responses. And when you do it enough, it's like exercising a muscle. We are exercising that response mechanism, and we can become even more clear on how we communicate with other people about what we want and what we need. So everybody go out there onto that stage that is life and react and respond appropriately. Be careful who you share your vulnerability with. Choose wisely. And just know that you have so much more control over your secondary behaviors than you think you might. All right. Remember, everything after take one is acting. I hope that this was interesting for you today. If you are wanting to hear more from me, you can visit my website at www.alexismarin.com, or you can subscribe to my YouTube channel here. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will talk to you soon. Take care.